This is Southern Cross News with Joe Palmer.
Good evening, everyone. A vital emergency relief program has been put at risk by a suspicious fire at a Gagebrook community centre. The blaze tore through the building overnight, causing its roof to collapse. Now, much-needed community assistance programs are looking for a new home, and it's not the only incident the centre has faced in the past year.
This is the charred ruins of what used to be a vital community building. Its roof caved in, the inside exposed to the elements.
Oh, there's a sense of devastation, but this is an amazing, resilient community.
The blaze is believed to have started in a pile of donated items at the back of the building. When firefighters were called just after midnight, the structure was well alight, but roller shutters covering the windows hampered their efforts.
Unfortunately, it's pretty well destroyed. It spread rapidly through the roof space. Unfortunately, when the fire brigade arrived, they weren't able to do an internal attack. One part of the centre was used as a not-for-profit op shop. It was also the local base for Uniting Care's emergency relief service, helping people in financial crisis and hardship. Members of the community say it's a devastating loss.
These guys do a lot of community work and help a lot of people out in the community, so it's going to have a roll-on effect to a lot of people around here.
This fire is the latest in a string of incidents that have hit the centre. Last year it was affected by flooding, and only a few months ago it suffered another fire.
This is about the third occasion that we've had an attempt to set fire to the building in the last 6 months.
Police say its cause is suspicious and are calling for any potential witnesses to contact Crime Stoppers, and they can remain anonymous.
We're conducting a number of investigations into this matter. It is in its early stages, and we just ask anyone with information to come forward.
The Uniting Church estimates the damage bill at $500,000, but it is insured. The job now to find a temporary home for its community programs.
The community is disappointed. We've seen an outflowing of concern this morning. A family with 3 children were here, burst into tears when they saw it because they knew this is a place that helps other people. And for someone to disrupt that for who knows what reason is just so disappointing.
Michael Green, Southern Cross News.
Tasmania's new Energy Minister is spruiking a new look, putting Tasmanians first approach for his energy portfolio. But opposition parties say Guy Barnett's new direction is indicative of division within the party.
The government's new Energy Minister hosting his first meeting with CEOs of Tas Networks, Hydro and Aurora.
I'm wearing a very important tie today, which is wind turbines.
Guy Barnett taking on the responsibility following the recent shock resignation of Matthew Groom. Today, spruiking a fresh approach.
On my watch and as a Hodgman Liberal government, the battery of the nation will still be pursued, but I'm making it clear that as Energy Minister, Tasmanians will come first.
The opposition says the change of tack shows divisions.
So what was Matthew Groom doing in his time in the portfolio? He's effectively saying, don't let the door hit you on the way out.
But the minister didn't outline any clear distinctions between his plans and his predecessors.
We want the lowest power prices in Australia by 2022, and it's got to be reliable. It's got to be secure. Energy security issues have been a concern in the past.
They've managed to capitalise on some work that was being done by private investors, but neither Matthew Groom nor Guy Barnett, in their role as energy ministers, have produced anything in the renewable energy space.
One of the jobs on the Energy Minister's list is seeing a resolution between Hydro and the Tasmania gas pipeline, with calls for the government to intervene in the negotiations before it gets to arbitration.
It's very important that electricity users, major industrials and medium-sized businesses have some surety in the market. That's what the government should be providing.
He needs to work constructively with all of the stakeholders and reach a deal as soon as possible.
Of course it's important for Tasmania, and we're monitoring it very carefully.
Louise Hedger, Southern Cross News.
An opportunistic thief has been caught on camera stealing a donation tin belonging to a Lions Club. The charity says it's heartbroken by the low act, which happened in full view of shoppers.
It's midday when a woman enters a Launceston lingerie store. She acts like any regular shopper, but the sales don't appear to be her priority. Instead, she hovers around the counter, waiting until no one is looking before grabbing a tin full of donations for a Lions Club. Hiding it under her coat, she rushes for the exit. It's not until half an hour later the store's owner realises what's happened.
I mean, they haven't stolen it from Judy's Body Fashions. We're here raising money for them. They've stolen it from a hard-working club, and that's I'm really upset about that.
The tin contained around $150, the money raised by selling small fruitcakes to customers.
It could have even been for a load of wood for a pensioner that was without wood for the winter. It's just all these little things that make up a community.
The Hadspen South Esk Lions Club says every dollar of that money was destined for the community.
$150 may not seem like a lot, but you've actually stolen from a not-for-profit community group.
The store's owner is shocked by the culprit's brazenness. Police have obtained the CCTV and are investigating.
Just felt sick. You feel sick in the pit of your stomach, You think that that's what's happened to it, and we hadn't seen her do it.
Anyone with information can contact Crime Stoppers. Tom Johnson, Southern Cross News.
Police have charged 2 L-plate motorbike riders after they were caught travelling at double the speed limit in Deloraine last night. The 17-year-old riders were clocked at 131 and 111 in a 60 zone. Neither rider tried to evade police. Both bikes have been impounded.
In one case, one of the motorcyclists, it's his father's motorbike, so that's an interesting conversation to have with Dad. After 28 days they can come and collect them.
One Honda bike featured a sticker reading Honda. The 2 youths will face court at a later date. Well, they're furry, often 4-legged and sometimes described as man's best friend. Today, animals across the world are being recognised in a bid to protect them.
Today it's all about these guys.
World Animal Day, it celebrates the relationship between animals and humans and how we can enrich their lives and how they enrich our lives.
It's a day to highlight everything great about animals, from native wildlife to domestic pets. It also aims to focus on the plight of threatened species such as wombats suffering from the deadly mange disease.
It affects them quite slowly, makes their skin very irritable, itchy, they lose all their hair, and eventually they just die from stress and from cold and also from being malnourished.
Baby Sebastian here is 6 months old and is quite unique. He was born and bred in captivity, which is rare for wombats. Zookeepers say their numbers have dramatically declined over the past few years. Meanwhile, at the RSPCA, this trio are in need of an owner willing to rehome them together.
Their owner had some medical issues and was unable to look after those cats anymore, so they've been surrendered to us. There's 2 5-year-olds and a 2-year-old, and they've really bonded closely together. So it'd be great to find them a home where all 3 of these cats can go and live out the rest of their lives.
They are among dozens of other animals at the shelter in need of a new loving family. Rita Risk, Southern Cross News.
The Devonport City Council has revealed the development of a $40 million waterfront hotel will be carried out by construction company Fairbrother. The 4-star hotel will be located in the city's CBD and have up to 200 rooms. The council says the decision to award the contract to a local firm will boost regional employment. Construction on the waterfront site is expected to start in 2019. Tasmania's governor has opened the doors to Government House, taking children on a tour of the elaborate building as part of the Children's University program. Her Excellency shared an insight into the important role of Governor of Tasmania.
I think the Children's University is an excellent idea. So it's really getting children to engage in their education outside school hours as well.
The children also toured Parliament House to get a behind-the-scenes look at how government works. Now let's look at business and finance. With thanks to Tasplan, your local super fund, the share market has fallen for a second straight session as international investors sold shares on concerns about a weaker outlook for the Australian dollar. The ASX 200 index has dropped by 49.3 points. A short time ago, the dollar was trading at 78.57 US cents and 109.46 New Zealand cents.
The Tigers are currently in danger of losing their second JLT one-day cup match in a row, sitting at 2 for 61 at the Wacker a short time ago. Earlier in the day, Victoria were on fire at the crease, setting the Tigers a massive run chase.
Jackson Bird was given the job with a new ball, but Marcus Harris made sure it was a difficult one, finding the boundary on the second delivery of the day. The addition of Andrew Feckerty into the attack did little to stem the Bushrangers' flow as Cameron White began to fire. Harris continued to make easy work of Tasmania's attack, bringing up his 50 in style. White joining him a short time later as the Tigers struggled to find an answer for the pair. Feckerty finally claiming the breakthrough, sending Harris packing on 75, but White was far from done. Travis Dean soon found his feet at the crease, helping the Bushrangers past the 200 mark before he became Riley Meredith's first scalp in the yellow and green. A length ball from Bird saw Will Pachovski's innings done on a duck. Seb Goth didn't last much longer as Feckerty claimed his second and then his third in match short. And just when White was looking like he'd finish up unbeaten, Feckerty brought him unstuck on 165 as the Bushrangers' innings came to a close with the Tigers left chasing a 325-run total.
The qualifying stage of the World Archery Youth Championships has wrapped up, with Tasmanian Sarah Haywood ranking 33rd out of 64 competitors in the recurve division. Her score was high enough to earn a bye into the second round. Fellow Tasmanian Matthew Everett didn't have as much success, ranking 41st out of 54 in the compound division. He'll shoot in the first round later tonight. And 3 Tasmanians have been named in the Kookaburra squad for the upcoming Oceania Cup. Eddie Ockenden, Joshua Belts and Jeremy Edwards will play in Sydney for the biennial event starting next week. The Aussies take on New Zealand and Papua New Guinea in the tournament. After an injury ended her lifelong aspirations of a career in the Army, Hobart's Michaela Gilovich found herself unsure what the future would hold. With nothing to lose, she applied to represent Australia at the recent Invictus Games in Canada, and it turned out to be a life-changing experience.
Michaela Gilovich wanted a career in the Defence Force for as long as she could remember, but that dream came crashing down in an instant.
I was injured really early on in my training and it changed my career path entirely. It was a career-ending injury. Got out of the Army in mid-2012 and was really lost.
Trying to adapt to life outside the Army, the 27-year-old found herself on the start of a completely unexpected journey.
Got involved in Mates for Mates early last year and then met some people through that had done the Invictus Games. Suggested that I get involved.
So she went for it, earning her spot among the 43 Australians wearing green and gold at last week's Invictus Games in Toronto. Emotion almost getting the better of her during the opening ceremony and leading to one of the most surreal experiences of her life.
He came up to me and he told me he saw me and it made him a bit emotional and I was really happy about that because he remembered me, so it was really cool. He's a great person.
Competing in multiple events, Gilovich set a new personal best in the indoor rowing during what would prove a life-changing week, one she didn't imagine would ever be possible.
We all rally together. You see people that have had horrific injuries or been through horrific experiences and they're still moving forward. It may be one step at a time, it may be slowly, but they're still heading in the right direction and drawing off each other and looking at people do that and coming together. That's what it's all about. Now that the games are over and I've met all these new people, I've got such a big support network. I feel like I can start looking forward and replanning my life.
Good evening. Yes, these numbers are correct. Hobart a 9 overnight and a top of just 10 today. Launceston, meantime, had the high for the state with 20, Burnie 18 and Devonport a top of 15. The front that did cross today brought showers mainly to the south, with temperatures there up to 7 below average. St Helens and Bridport 19, Wynyard and Scottsdale 18, King Island 17, Flinders Island, Low Head and Friendly Beaches 16 today, Strawn 15, Ooze just 13 today and Lyre Weenie 12. A band of cloud sits over our region as well as parts of South and Western Australia. Bit of patchy cloud high over New South Wales and Victoria and some low cloud over Queensland. A little bit of convection over the interior of WA as well. And here's the pattern today over Tasmania, with the cloud concentrating over the southern three-quarters of the state by the looks of that. Tomorrow, a low near our northwest, extending a trough over eastern Australia. A high moves over the Bight as a broad trough starts to dominate northern Australia. Northeasterly winds at 15 to 20 knots, reaching 30 knots over the northwest, then tending northwest-northeasterly ahead of a 20 to 30 knot southerly change in the evening. Swells at 3 metres in western and southern waters. Strong wind warning for waters between Tasman Island and Stanley. Rain tomorrow for Hobart, a top of 17 degrees, 16 for Cygnet, wet weather for New Norfolk and 17. Launceston, rain, 18 the top, 16 for Devonport and Campbelltown, 18 degrees. Wet weather for Burnie, 16 the high, 16 for Strawn as well. Winds easing from Smithton but still rainy and 15 degrees. Rain at times in the east, St Helens 18 along with Swansea, Fingal a top of 16. UV moderate at 4 or 5. On Friday, showers over the east, south and west, clearing in the afternoon. Finer mostly sunny on Saturday with light winds and fine at first on Sunday, then light rain extending across the state from the northwest during the evening. Sunny and 23 in Perth. A few showers over Adelaide and Melbourne. Partly cloudy weather for Sydney, a top of 26 degrees, and a shower for Brisbane and Cairns. A little bit of light rain over Hobart, still cool, just 9 degrees, 17 in Launceston and partly cloudy, and 13 in Devonport and mostly clear. It's great that the forecast for Saturday is encouraging with a little bit of warm weather as Joe Palmer gets herself pushed down the slide into the icy water as we raise funds for MND. It's going to be a great day in Launceston on Saturday. Joe hits the water at about 11 a.m. I hope there's lots of ice in there, Joe. Sorry I'm not there to splash you a bit more.
I think you should be there next year, Murph. No, I'm looking forward to it. Should be great. Big freeze on Saturday. And just before we leave you tonight, a reminder to our viewers in the north of the state. The SES will be testing its Launceston flood siren in Invermay within the hour. So if you hear a sound similar to the traditional air raid siren, there's no need to be alarmed. The siren will be sounded in Hope and Holbrook streets for 1 minute each. So that will be happening in the next hour. But to all of you, thank you for your company tonight. We will, of course, see you with updates throughout the evening. See you later.